After over 700 miles riding with the Wheeltop EDS Electronic Shifters, I'm going to give you an update. It's mostly good, but there's also some issues. Well, today is summer in the UK, just for one day. It's a really lovely day. It's going to be probably around 23, 24, I think, which is just comfortable. Bit of a breeze, and we're expecting to do around about 60, 62 miles today. So Wendy will get 100k in. If you've just come here to look at the Wheeltop review, then you'll see that I've added a chapter on that, so you can skip forward and avoid all this riding nonsense. But if not, you're welcome to join us on today's ride. We're going to do a slightly different route. The route we're on now is one we've done several times, but we are going to be charting new waters, as it were. And after the rain we've had in the past week, it could well be charting new waters. Oh, that
was a frog.
A what?
A frog.
A flat frog?
No, it wasn't. Well, unless you ran over him, I didn't.
Oh, was it alive?
Yeah, well, yeah, it was.
Oh, I didn't go over it. Don't want to mess my tyres up. So those of you that have watched our rides before, you'll recognise some of it, but this time we're going to go west of Melton Mowbray.
Be good to avoid Melton.
Well, we hope it'll be good. Never know, do you, with me? Yeah, today's ride is coming out on Ride with GPS. There's around 2,500 feet of climbing as well.
Yeah,
so that'll stretch our legs.
Lovely views today.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
While we're getting towards the interesting part of the route, I'll mention something that might be of use to some of you. Do any of you suffer from cramp after a ride, or any time? I certainly do, and Wendy says she does. And one of our remedies is to take magnesium. Now there are, I think, a couple of different types of magnesium, and of course people recommend the expensive one, but I use the pretty cheap one that came from a supermarket, and it works for me. And what about you?
Yeah, mine's a supermarket one.
Yeah,
I use it for night sweats.
Pull in here and let this car through. No thank you there. So yeah, when we come back from a long ride, I don't know about you, Wendy, I take a couple because I don't think you can overdose on magnesium, can you? Probably you can.
I take one of those revitalised drinks.
Has that got magnesium in it?
A bit, but I take magnesium at bedtime because I suffer from night sweats more than anything.
Right.
Which I always thought was menopausal, but it turns out magnesium deficiency actually has an impact, especially if you do a lot of sport.
Right. Didn't
know that. It was somebody on Bella Vixen Facebook page suggested it.
Okay.
So I tried it, and overnight suddenly my night sweats had gone.
Really?
It was just unbelievable.
I sometimes get night sweats, but I guess I'm not menopausal. Mind you, these days. Yeah, so if you do suffer from cramps, which are excruciating, then give it a try. I take a couple of magnesium tablets, certainly before bedtime, and it's worked for me very, very well. But if you've got your own preventatives or cures for cramp, let us know in the comments. Today's going to be a two-stop ride, and our first one this morning is going to be at the dairy barn. Oh, unusually we look like being the only cyclists here today. Well, that was a pleasant little stop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We decided it's early on, you know, it was only about 11 o'clock, so we've gone sweet things. I'm normally a savoury person. Well, I know some would say unsavoury, but I like savoury things normally. But this morning had a nice scone and cream.
Yeah, I had a toasted tea cake.
You had a toasted tea cake, yeah.
Jolly good.
So we'll save the bacon until later. Save our bacon. We've done a bit of a reroute here because we've often seen this church up on the hill, so we've decided to come along and have a look. But at the moment we can't see it. The church we've seen is on the top of a really steep hill, so
of course we got to try it.
We've been on the flat, so we're obviously nowhere near the church. Oh, we're going up now.
Oh, so we are. Seems to be going down again, Roy.
Yeah. Well, we've done quite a bit of climbing and we still haven't found the church. It's probably to the right in all these trees.
Yeah.
They often used to build churches next to the big country houses. We saw a gate lodge earlier, so there's probably a big house behind there, and one would imagine the church is behind there. So we'll have to do a bit of research, Wendy.
What's that in there? Is that just trees?
But it's certainly beautiful up here, isn't it? The Wahoo has turned to a blue line because we're off the route, but it's guiding us back to the route, hopefully.
Can't see it. You probably have to go up the drive there, didn't we? That road ahead looks good, doesn't it?
It does, doesn't it?
A little undulation.
These are the sort of undulations we like.
Over there, you can see a long way, can't you?
Yeah, superb view. It's a good clear day as well.
I feel we're going to have to go up a hill somewhere. And all I can see is hills coming in around me.
This is where I'm glad I left the detour up to you.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's got to be uphill, hasn't it? Great Dolby.
Moscow Farm, that was called.
Wonder why it's Moscow Farm. Strange
Yeah.
name, isn't it? Very strange name for a farm.
It is.
The one before was Home Farm, which is more obvious.
Yeah. Moscow's got cow in it, so maybe it's something to do with that.
So it's actually Moscow Farm.
Was it worth it for the view?
And the tractor.
These little lanes were developed around horse-drawn traffic, weren't they? And they're not used to these massive tractors.
Wow, a combiner vista. I've got a brand new combiner vista. I'll give you the key. Oh my God, we're going back down again.
So the route we're taking today differs from before in that we usually go across that NCN route with the steep hill where we always wish for the gates to be open, but often they're not. But today we're taking a different route, and we've actually taken a detour. I gave Wendy the choice of whether to do the detour or not, and she took the detour. So if it's wrong, she can't blame me, although she will.
Of course I will.
Now somewhere down here, from memory, there's a railway line, and I seem to remember, I think it was probably the 80s, that they tested a train carrying a nuclear flask, and they crashed it at high speed to see what would happen. And I don't think there was anything nuclear in it.
Oh, that's reassuring.
Thankfully. I think we'll err on the side of caution and let this tractor through. Could have said thank you, but he didn't.
Hate the noise they make.
She did. And she did. Ah, great Dolby then, this one. There's a lot of
Pulling
Dolbys
a bit
about,
for
aren't there?
The car behind. Thank you. Thank you.
I can honestly say I've never been along here before, Wendy.
No, I don't think I have, no. If I have, I don't know I have.
In fact, I don't really know where we are.
Lovely. It's lovely to see different names of villages and things, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh, new bit of road. Oh, that's nice.
And that's all they do. They don't have to do any more,
No,
so they don't.
Section 106 done.
Yeah,
Ticks off.
that's it. That'd have been nice, wouldn't it?
A tunnel.
Yeah.
Oh, look, this is what we like, a gated road.
Ooh. This is exciting.
Looks like an old manor house ahead, look.
I know. Another church. Looks like it's leaning.
Yeah.
Ooh. Common land or some sort, maybe.
There's a bull in the middle of the road.
Glad I've not got red on, Roy.
Yeah. I think that's a myth, but we'll find out.
Let's hope they like your red socks. Oh, he's looking at you, Roy. Looking at your red socks.
I think he's probably more likely looking at you. This is ridge and furrow, look. But he stands out in the
It
sun.
does look common landish, doesn't it?
It
Some
does.
sort. That house looks amazing with the chimneys straight
Does.
ahead. Where are we? We might have to go
I
and
think
have a
it's
little
probably
look round.
Brooksby.
Can we have a look round the village?
Yeah, definitely. This place ahead looks quite institutional, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks very very military or something.
Brooksby campus,
What is it?
part of the SMB college group, Brooksby
right.
Hall. So we can't go through there. Oh, well, I don't know though, that's probably Brooksby Hall through there. Let's go and have a look.
Have a look.
It's quite special, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shall we try the door?
I would guess if it's a student accommodation place, it'll probably be closed. Shall we go try it?
Oh no,
Not allowed in.
they don't want you in there.
Said it'd be shut, being students. How beautiful is that?
These cameras are to catch anybody jumping the crossing. I just find it amazing that you would need to actually have a camera for that, because people are just so stupid and so impatient that they have to go through a closed crossing. Takes all sorts though. Well, we were having a mooch around the church and the grounds there, and we were being approached by a man, and we both thought he was going to tell us off, but in fact turns out he's a viewer and recognised us, so that was really nice. Chap called Ian, so hello Ian, it was great to meet you. We're in the land of the ironstone.
I've been here before.
Have you?
Yeah,
How do you know?
we did this on the
Nearly thatched.
Bells of Beaver.
Ah, right.
That asked me how we got to here, because we didn't come that way.
Oh, look
don't
at this
think.
place.
Yeah, straight, exactly what I thought.
1879. Well, this is glorious.
Really unusual village.
What's it? Oh, Hobie.
Hobie, yeah.
We've only got 27 miles to go back to Bottisford.
And 20,000 feet of climbing.
So I think now is a good time to tell you about how I'm getting on with this Wheeltop EDS electronic shifter setup. And the reason I say it's a good time is because I've now completed exactly 750 miles with it. So I think it's been a fairly good test, and I think I can now speak from reasonable experience. And I have to say, on the whole, that experience has been really good. Very impressed. I love the speed of the change. I've got it set to the casual mode, so it's not a super fast change. But if I'm coming up to a hill suddenly and I haven't got in the right gear, I can just hold the button down and it'll shift down through the gears, which is excellent. Shifts have been very smooth, and one of the things that surprised me, and I did expect some problems, since I've been using the oval chain rings, I found that if I get tired on a ride with manual shifters, I get a bit lazy and I'm not pushing the shifter enough, the ovals are much more sensitive and I can easily miss shift. And I did find that the chain was coming off quite a bit because the ovals do demand a very precise setup. With the Wheeltop system, I found the opposite. It's been very, very smooth. Now occasionally, if I'm in the small ring at the front and I'm down on the third smallest ring at the back, which is as low as it'll go, I do find that if I try to shift into the big ring at that point, sometimes it struggles. But I shouldn't really be in that sort of position anyway. And it might just be my setup. On Sunday though, when I was in the small ring, I did find I was having a problem. It wasn't shifting properly. It was jumping between two rings. So yesterday I just set the thing up again from scratch and it's absolutely fine today. Now I've no idea why it went out of sync, but it did. The other thing that's impressed me with it is its robustness. A couple of weeks back I was on my horrible hill near home. It's 12%, quite narrow, and a combine harvester was coming the other way. There was no way that he was going to pass with me riding, so I stopped. And as I was trying to get going again on the hill, I lost my balance and went over, and it went over right on the rear derailleur. So I did expect a problem, and sure enough, it wouldn't shift properly. It was all over the place. But once I got to the top of the hill, I shifted through the gears either way and it cleared itself, and it worked perfectly afterwards. So I'm really impressed with that, and you can see the damage that I've actually done to it. Now it wasn't a fast fall, I was pretty much stationary, but even so it went right over on the derailleur. So I don't think we can fault it for robustness and the fact that it recovered. Now I haven't been able to do an accurate battery life check purely because I don't want the things to go flat on the road, but I would imagine that I'd certainly get 500, 600, 700 miles out of one charge. Now as you'd imagine, the rear derailleur does flatten off before the front one because it's shifting more, and I guess it's going to depend on how much shifting you do anyway as to how long it lasts. Now I topped this up yesterday just to be sure, but I've done several hundred miles and it was still only down to 60% on the rear, so I'm pretty satisfied with that. The voltage on the shifter batteries was getting low and they didn't seem to have lasted very long, but I'm guessing that's because maybe they're supplied with a less than good battery. Plus I did a lot of shifting when I was testing. So what I've done, I've put some Duracells in, and I've got a spare pair in the bag just in case. Now for the negatives, left here. I was really impressed when Wheeltop came out with a firmware update, especially as it promised to couple up to my head unit and show me the gear selection. And it was great. It paired up quickly. It showed me the derailleur battery life, but oddly, the gears were shown back to front. So we're in a situation where if I'm in the largest ring in the cassette, it's actually showing on the display as the smallest ring. Now, initially I thought maybe it's something to do with the setup, so played around with it, played around with the Wahoo, nothing changed. So I contacted Wheeltop, explained the situation, told them that I was making this updated review, so I'd like to get this sorted. And they came back with a surprising answer. And that answer was, this is the way we designed it, and this is the way it's going to stay, basically. We're not changing it. Right here, Wendy, sorry. Now, it's not too much of a problem for me because I tend not to look at the gears anyway. I feel where I am. But what I would say is, if you're going to put that sort of display on, at least have it the right way around. Now maybe it's some sort of Chinese way of doing things, but I'd be interested if there's any Chinese people on here that would explain to me the logic. I'd be grateful. There's a lot of chatter about this on the Wheeltop users forum, and I would say to Wheeltop, even if it is the way you designed it, if you want to supply to the Western world, then I think you need to put this right, and hopefully you will with a firmware update. But as I've said, it really doesn't affect me too much because it's not something I rely on. But I would say if it's going to be there, at least get it right, or don't put it there at all. Now, as I said on my original review, I didn't pay for this. It was supplied to me free of charge as a demonstration unit. But what I would say is, knowing what I know now, I would buy it. Now, as with all my reviews, I'm not making a recommendation, I'm just telling you how I feel. Obviously it's up to you to decide whether it's something you want. If you do decide to buy it, I'd be grateful if you would use the link below. It will give you a small discount, and it'll also give the channel a very, very small commission, and every little helps. But as always, if you can get a better deal somewhere else, then do so. We need some lunch, Wendy.
Are we having some at Hickling?
Yeah, I was going to say we might have to pay through the nose at the old wharf.
Yeah. Coming out.
Yeah. It's certainly been a lovely route, especially as it misses out Melton.
It's been really nice, I've loved it. Very pretty.
I think it's really good that we just missed all these main roads.
Yeah, just straight across them all, isn't it?
Yeah, because that bit from, you know, getting across from the back of Melton to where we're going is quite difficult.
Yeah.
With all those busy roads.
No, it was good. So most of them were just straight across.
Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
Well, Wendy's on 88 kilometres now, and she should make 100 easily,
Yeah.
but you're struggling a bit.
Yeah. Hot, tired, sweaty.
I don't think we need to know that. Wendy's been suffering from a cold all day, so she's done very well to get this far. She insisted on coming out and doing this sort of distance. I think it was a case of kill or cure.
I think it is.
I think at the moment it's more on the kill side.
It's feeling a bit kill, yeah. I can't wait to get in the shower, I have to say. Still, I've enjoyed it.
It's been a great
Some
route, hasn't it?
super- Yeah, definitely. One to do again.
Definitely. And I think we'll leave that loop where we were searching for the church that wasn't there, with that added to it.
I'll have to find out how to get to that church at some stage.
Yeah, we'll have to look at it.
Woo!
Whoa. That's not the best place to be reversing out of, is it?
Kidding.
Well, that's us, not at the end of the ride, but we're getting towards the end of the ride. Wendy's going to achieve 100 kilometres today,
Yeah.
and she's done very well to get round it, considering she's
I've
feeling a
struggled
bit rough.
today. Been a lot of highs and lows today.
I think by the time I get home I'll be close on 70, and it's been a great route, so we've had a good day, good weather,
Yeah. No wind, really.
not to speak of. So we'll say goodbye to you now. Got lots planned for the rest of the year, so hopefully you'll join us for those. And if you subscribe and hit the bell, obviously you'll get to know when something comes up. And we'd be really grateful if you'd leave a like before you go, because it helps us a great deal. So thanks again, and say goodbye.
Bye, thank you. Thank you for watching.